Hey everyone, welcome back to the horror show. I'm Cecil Laird.
And I'm Marcia Parker.
And we are back with our spoiler review of Horns, starring Daniel Radcliffe. And Marcia, why don't you go ahead and talk about the first thing you want to spoil for this movie?
Well, one of my favorite scenes is when he's got the horns and he's realizing the powers that they have. And he's going to the bar because he's on a mission. He's like, I'm going to go and figure out who killed Marin. And so he gets out of his car, and there's still all these reporters following him. Mm-hmm. And they're like, come on, you have to give us an interview. And he's like, how about this? Why don't you beat the shit out of each other, and the winner I'll give an exclusive interview to. And all of a sudden, they just fucking go at it. They're just beating the shit. They're strangling each other. They're just going crazy. He goes into the bar. A few things happen there. He comes back out, and there's like... they're just carnage, just people just like, broken into pieces. And there's the lady who's pretty much the winner. Mm-hmm. She's still strangling somebody with her equipment. I think it was her microphone. Yeah. And she's like, wait, what about my interview? And he's like, whatever. Yeah. But that was a really fun moment. The music that they played was really cool too. Like it was pretty.
There's a lot of good wish fulfillment moments when it came to him using his powers.
Yeah.
Like Marcia mentioned in the regular review, when the lady had her little girl that was screaming and screaming, when Daniel Radcliffe went to the receptionist behind the thing, she's like, I just wish I could tell them to have that girl shut up and take her out of here. And Daniel's like, okay, go ahead.
Do it.
And so she stand up and she's like, excuse me, ma'am, would you take your little fucking daughter out of here so we don't have to listen to her anymore?
Yeah.
And it's just this really, like, again, these scenes are just a lot of fun because it's stuff that you would want to do yourself that they're finally showing you in a movie.
And I think in that scene also was really creepy. The little girl goes, I just want to catch my mom on fire and watch her burn or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like,
oh Jesus Christmas. Yeah, they're
clearly. I want to pop children out of this body.
Now, the thing I wanted to spoil most of all is it ties into the thing I was most impressed with the movie, which was the love story. Yeah. Yes, I said that was the most impressive thing because, you know, they play the beats correctly. They have plot points develop organically and in a good, timely fashion that keeps you intrigued. So at first you think that maybe she just broke up with him for no reason, and then maybe she cheated on him, and you know, any number of things, and so Daniel was kind of lost. The biggest part was he
thought that she cheated on him.
And
she found another love.
Yeah, she found another love, and she ended their relationship, and he didn't know why, and before he could find out, she ended up dead, and he was thrust into the spotlight as the suspect and all this stuff. And what ends up happening is by the end, he makes his way back, like he uses his powers to track down the real culprits and figure out what actually happened. Yeah. And eventually the trail leads him back to their treehouse where he finds a little hidden panel under the floor that has a note to him that basically explains that the whole reason she pushed him away to begin with is because he wanted to marry her, and she found out that she had terminal cancer. Yeah. And so she said that she knew that if she told him, he would only want to marry her all the faster, and she didn't want to have him have such a short life with someone. Right. You know, and she felt she was gonna feel horrible about it, so she pushed him away.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it goes back to her story of like her mom had the cancer, and she watched her dad go through that, and she didn't want him to go through it. She wanted to have grandchildren and such, and meet her back at the tree house, like after his demise, you know, and that kind of leads back to what I mentioned in the regular review, and when he said, I'm going to love you for the rest of my life, and she said, just love me for the rest of mine, and it really ties together in that moment. Like, she knew for a long time, like, she was going to have to do this, and it's really sad, you know?
Yeah, it was a really touching moment.
Especially when you know how she died. Yeah. And we'll kind of get to that. Like we mentioned before, there was a love triangle, and he thought, well, you know, he thinks she cheated on him and stuff. Turns out she hadn't, but his best friend, who, as their children, had admitted that he kind of liked her, but they kind of forgot about it because, you know, the relationship that they were having together. But he never let it go. Like he held it in, and he imagined and fantasized that one day that they would be together. And when she revealed to him that she wasn't going to say yes, that she knew he was going to propose, she was going to say yes, she was going to break it off, he thought that she was going to just be with him. Like, she never mentioned that or even led to that, but he just assumed that that's what was going to happen. So after things went bad, you know, he followed her to the woods and, you know, pushed himself on her. And that was that, you know. And the kind of the sad part of it, too, not only was she betrayed by one of her really best friends and ended up murdered by him, like, he was Iggy's, like, #1 fan of, oh, well, you didn't do this. I know you didn't. He was his lawyer. He was his best friend.
He was the one that didn't see the horn.
And he sat there and told him that they did have a love affair, and they had a love affair for months, you know. And then he tried to murder him when he found out that he was the killer. It was just like, what the fuck with this guy, you know? And he does a lot more horrible things. Like, it just never ends with him, which is kind of funny because he's supposed to be the good guy.
So there's a big confrontation between them, and basically Daniel Radcliffe is put into a position to either, you know, let his friend get away with it or become sort of full demon and get his revenge and give into it, and then ultimately that's what he does. But when he does, it's cool. He rips off a necklace that he was wearing of Marin's that was keeping sort of the demon at bay, and he, at first, when he rips it off, he sprouts these angel wings.
Yeah, everybody's like, what the fuck is
Yeah, and he
going on?
flaps up, you know, like he's supposed to ascend to heaven, but because he's doing it out of revenge, the wings catch fire, and he falls to the ground, and then his body sort of burns away and burns into this big demon creature that's reminiscent of the devil in Legend. Except with, you know, crackling lava skin and stuff like that. And so he takes his friend out by bull rushing him and jabbing him with one of his horns, appropriately considering the movie.
Right.
And then pretty quickly afterwards dies and gets to join Marin in the afterlife.
Yeah.
There's other things to spoil, but we don't want to ruin everything, so you can have some fun. There's a really cool scene involving his powers and a man taking drugs that ends up being a lot of fun to watch.
That was really crazy.
It was crazy,
Yeah,
but
it was
let's
his
leave that
brother.
to them to watch. Yeah, let's leave that for you guys to watch, so you can have a little enjoyment that we didn't ruin for you guys. But for right now, thanks for watching. That was our spoiler review of the movie Horns. And check out our stuff, our Coexist shirts, regular show shirts, podcasts, all kinds of good stuff at thehorrorshowchannel.com.
Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Like, share, and subscribe.
And Marcia, what do we want to have them talk about below in the comments this time?
Well, tell us about your favorite horn moments. I mean...
Horn moments?
Horny moments?
Horny moments? Either way. Horns or horny. Tell us your favorite moment in the horror movies.
Yeah, like, let us know about your favorite kind of moral story kind of horror movies. But
Sure. Either way, any of those is good, guys. Let us know something. Talk to us. We miss you. But thanks for watching, you guys. And remember, stay scared.